Sandip Jandu and Gurdeep Mihangra rarely get through a rally without some form of problem, and this one would be true to form. Before setting off, they'd made sure they were carrying a full box of spares and were confident they had everything covered. Normally, when the engine management computer packs up, it's the end of a rally. But not for them. They had a spare.
I carried a spare computer. What I learnt from Meru, I think it was worth it. Otherwise, my rally was over. The car just went right, and I said, okay, let's check. We checked and we said, let's just put another computer, and we say we tried, and it worked.
And you just have to plug it in.
Plug it in, and play. That's the beauty about that computer.
Their only other problem was the loss of traction control, but that didn't stop them, and they went on to finish 16. Another crew not to be overcome by whatever is thrown their way are Shazar Anwar and Job Jiru. They went over a brow too quickly and hit a rock which blew a shock, broke a hub and bent a steering arm. Unperturbed, they fixed it all up and got going, maintaining their record of finishing every event they have entered. The race for the Division 3 honours was reduced to those still running without problems. This included Adin Haq and Peter Stone in an N10. In between blowing a shock, replacing it and blowing it again, they'd had a clean run and were rewarded with 15th overall and 3rd in the division. Kuram Butt and Franco Donadell were on home ground, anxious to pull in a good result for their seafood sponsors. They put the stage miles behind them without incident to take 2nd in the division and came 13th overall. Ghalib Haji and Surinder Saddle were also getting through the stages without fuss or bother, not particularly racing against anyone, just driving at the usual quick pace that could see them move into Division 2 next year.
We figure it's quite rough and it's a very slippery surface, very tricky. It changes all the time, so again, very technical. So we're thinking, look, let's bring it home and let's get our points and hopefully bring it home in one piece.
A rally is never over until it's over. And within sight of the final control, they were surprised when a wheel overtook them, only to find it was theirs. They recovered it, but 3 wheel studs had sheared, and by the time they got going, they were out of time. The division lead was now in the hands of Naushad Kara and Eddie Muda. They are not regulars on the KNRC circuit, but enter all the local club events which they generally dominate. They finished 12th overall, taking the 80 points for the Division 3 win. Despite not finishing, Ghalib Haji still leads on the division table, with the gap between him and Shazar Anwar reduced to 60 points. Kuram Butt dislodges just with the Chana for 4th, and Sandip Jandu makes an appearance in 6th. Out of the 10 drivers who have made the grade into Division 2, only 5 were taking part in this event. At the start of the event, Alfred Khan was at the head of the division table. Together with Tausif Khan, they were well on track, and by the end of stage 6, were even lying 9th overall. But in the process, they'd nosedived into a drift, breaking the radiator.
We've overheated the whole way. It died out just before the special stage, but luckily started up again. Yeah, and I hope we're changing the radiator, but I hope the heads are fine. If it works, well and good. If it doesn't, we go enjoy the beach.
They towed the car round and around the service park to coax it back to life, but the engine was cooked and their rally was over. Alex Horsey and Frank Kitao have had a disappointing season and have only managed to finish in 2 events. Once again, it didn't start well when they went off early on, picking up a puncture. When they were going, they matched times with the leaders and over the next 3 stages clawed their way up the leaderboard to 11th. Then on stage 6, they broke a shock absorber after hitting a rock, ending their rally in the undergrowth when the car refused to turn at the next bend.
and I hit what I would call a very small bump, and my shock absorber broke into 2 pieces. Very unfortunate. So that put me out of the rally. So that's me as a spectator from now on.
This left 3 cars running for the division honours, including Ben Mushemi, who was once again trying out a new navigator. George Kiama is no newcomer to rallying, but found the ride with Ben a whole new experience. It took time to accept Ben's flamboyant driving style, but between them, they kept the car on the road to finish 11th and 3rd in the division.
So you're glad the rally's finished?
I'm glad the rally's finished.
You know, he has a heart problem, I think, but it's stabilized. It's just moved to the left side, so he'll not have a heart problem from now onwards. The guy is okay. Yeah.
This was Said Hamad and Victor Okundi's home event, and they thoroughly tested the car, knowing they would be performing in front of a huge number of their supporters. Everything was going well until the alternator stopped working, but this only forced them to drive even faster to get back to service for a new battery at each stop. They were relieved to reach the finish to record 9th overall and 2nd in the division. Taking the division honours were Izzar Mirza and Zahir Shah, who were relishing each kilometre. They consistently set times well inside the top 10, but their biggest reward was finishing their first rally of the season, and coming 8th was a bonus. On the Division 2 table, Alfir Khan's lead has been reduced to 40 points. Ben Mushemi and Said Hamad tied for 2nd, and with only 1 event remaining, any of the top 3 can now take the title.